Hello, Taurus, and welcome to Eye of the Centaur, your 2024 spring reading from Planet Waves. I'm Eric Francis Coppolino, your friendly neighborhood astrologer, here with a little bit of information that may help you get a sense of what you have been experiencing in a different context, a little bit of new framing. We have arrived at the end of the Eye of the Centaur series. In this project, I worked backwards exclusively, beginning in Aries, then doing Pisces, Aquarius, so forth, Capricorn backwards. And so this is the method described by Alice Bailey in Esoteric Astrology. And she talks about how this, whether, this is, I think, open for discussion or observation, but this is... treading the wheel backwards is the path of the initiate, and the initiation concludes in your sign Taurus, an eminently important sign of the zodiac, and you are under some tremendous aspects right now. This has been going on for a while, but there is going to be a culmination, I think, a major shift, and the birthday season that you're now entering is going to be a major before and after moment in your life and represent a step up in the world, and also the potential resolution of some deep internal psychological material that you seem to be doing your best to work your way through, and a new role in the world that is calling you. If you are not necessarily going completely willingly, there's definitely the sense that you're being summoned to something much greater than you have previously experienced, though that sometimes can feel like Gandalf showing up at the hobbit hole of Bilbo Baggins, who probably hadn't left in 25 years, and saying, we need a 14th person to go on this trip so that there's not 13. We'd like you to be that person, so let's go get ready. And by the way, these are my friends, the dwarves, and they went on an adventure, the adventure of Bilbo Baggins' life. And Taurians, I think, are a bit Hobbit-like in your internal orientation and a sense of grounding. I mean, I think that if you could live in a building that had kind of roots into the ground or a hillside and a round door, you might opt for that, at least as a part-time residence. Okay, so just to give you a sense of the total scale, how do we do this? Total scale of the energy that's brewing, and this really only includes a part of it. We're talking in reality it goes out about maybe that far further, a little bit more. So we've got 120 degree range being covered, but the heart of the matter is that along with many other things, Venus is going to be in Aries, along with the node, the moon, the sun, Chiron, Eris, and retrograde Mercury in this extraordinary aspect pattern. And though this is not happening in your sign, it is happening in a very, very sensitive place in your chart. And this is the relationship of Aries to Taurus, which is kind of astrologically from the position of sun sign astrology, which is actually a fundamental form of astrology. Were I running some kind of a formal astrology program, I just might start with the sun signs because they're a template for everything else. How the structure of a chart, and so I'm going to flip this over in a second, and we'll have a proper wheel oriented on Taurus. So there's all this stuff in Aries, which is the most sensitive angle in your chart, but then in your sign in Taurus, there's this conjunction of the largest planet and one of the most reactive planets, one of the most high energy planets that can kind of topple anything, basically, but it happens to respond very well when you put it together with Jupiter in your sign. And this is, at least on the exterior, the main event for you, and a place where you're looking for the expression of many things that are going on a much deeper level, or a veiled level, or a level that is a kind of frequency that is difficult to establish. All of those things which are in some way subtle or concealed or ambivalent or veiled or operating invisibly, are all going to find expression in this conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus in your birth sign. So here's how that looks when we put it into your chart. So the all of this stuff, just about all the areas is contained in one house, and I've summarized it here with the eclipse conjunct Chiron, big event, once in a lifetime, once in many lifetimes. And then let me add a couple of more planets here, because I need to further customize this chart for you and make sure that we're really talking about you, a picture of you. Pardon me while I use my kind of magic eraser. I kind of do graphics the old way. Okay, so one of the most important fundamental concepts of reading a natal chart, of which we're counting this, it's your solar chart, but close enough, is the contrast between house 12, which is this kind of invisible inner life, the house of dreams, and the house of all things gone missing, and the outer life, what is expressed in the world, and how you identify and what you think you are, and how you appear to the world, and how you express yourself. And that's your sign. That's the reference sign, house number 1, which is for you, Taurus. But note how much is going on behind the scenes. That's Venus. That's the eclipse. It's a little circle. It's a conjunction with the dot filled in. That's Chiron, which is making a 9-year trip through Aries. And then Eris making a 130-year trip through Aries, now about 100 years in. And Mercury, which is retrograde. And so if you imagine taking all of this, or most of it, all of this, and tucking it into this little space in your chart, which is like a dimension. It's like a bag of holding from gaming, where the bag only looks so large. Or you imagine a cup, but you can put 50 gallons of water in the cup and carry it around. It's only supposed to take like a pint, but it actually takes 50 gallons. That's the 12th house. The 12th is this portal into other dimensions. It is that includes your own, what Jung would have called the subconscious, the part of your mind that you're not necessarily fully aware of until you become aware of it. And oddly, though I have not been able to make sense of this in many years of contemplation, the inner realm is above the horizon, and the outer realm is below the horizon. This imaginary horizon here of the imaginary ascendant works the same way in proper natal charts. And that is one of the paradoxes of the chart. When I solve that one, I will tell you I've solved 50 others, but this one is a little persistent. But let's read it knowing what we're reading. So when there's a large collection of things in the 12th house, what you're likely to feel is pressure. The pressure feels like a bubble filling with air, and that bubble is your deep inner psyche. One of my